You are listening to Rebel Sage Radio. I'm your host, Max Warren. Gentlemen, each week we deliver it real, raw, unfiltered conversations for men. Let's get started. We are joined by the Jim Vance, who is bringing his wisdom and his background in men's work for quite some time now. And you lived in the real world too, didn't you, brother? Some people think that coaches live in the bullshit fantasy world, but you came from doing the real thing in the corporate world and
Yeah,
out there,
I've
right?
done a little bit of everything. I was a teacher for 12 years. I taught at the high school level, department head. I wrote for the college board. I used to write the AP US history exam for the college board. I wrote the teacher exam for the entrance exam for the state of Georgia. And then I went into the corporate world. I was like, oh, I want to make more money and not have to buy degrees all the time. I was about to start my doctorate and I decided to make a jump, and I made a jump and I loved it, made a lot of money, but it was still away from my purpose. My purpose is helping people. And so
Yeah.
I built on the side for a few years, and then I decided to just go all in.
Nice, man. And for the guy that isn't familiar with you, which obviously I know who you are, brother, but
Yeah.
for guys that aren't, they're I like to think of the podcast as reaching guys that are barely familiar with what we do, and we say
Yeah.
circle in men's work, and that's foreign to them. If you could share just a little bit about what you do presently, and then share your story. I'd love to get a little background. We don't do bios on Rebel Sage, but we love people's stories. So I'd love to hear your
Yeah.
origin story.
100%. So my kind of moniker everywhere I go is the dot conscious dot man, the conscious man.
Hmm.
And that's where everywhere I am on social media, but I really help men in masculine leadership, like helping them to go from passive to powerful in their life, and then take that to a relationship, take that to their job, take that to parenting. But I start with them being able to lead themselves first. That's kind of like my foundational principle. Like, hey, if you can't lead you, you can't lead a work, you can't lead a family.
Absolutely.
And so I start with that principle and we build on it. I mean, there's all different levels and layers of the work. But for me, a lot of the work is practice. It's embodiment. It's how do I get so comfortable and confident being this person? And the only way to do it is to fucking get your fingers dirty and get into it every day. And that's something that's I practice that and all my guys practice that, and the results prove out over time. It just you have to be hard headed enough to do the work every day. A lot of men are they get good for they'll get going and they're good for like first 3 weeks. They're like, oh, I'm fucking feeling great. My wife's responding to me, and I know what happens next. Foot off the gas pedal.
Yeah.
And then within a week, they're like, it's a shit show again. I was like, no shit. You got to do this every day. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
It's like working out. If you stop working out, the muscle goes away. So we got to keep it moving and building the muscle every day.
Absolutely. Yeah, we
So,
drift, man. It's not like
yes.
you can't part time it, half time it. It's not doesn't work
No,
that way.
no. And so origin story for me is, I mean, I could go all the way back to childhood and I won't, but um, I was born in abject poverty. I had a great father. Me and my mother was good. We just didn't have the greatest relationship on the planet. Um, and you know, it had its ups and downs.
Hmm.
Both my parents have passed since then, but because of the way they raised me, I became like I'm a worker by nature. Like
Sure.
because my dad's a hard worker, my mom was a hard worker, and they expected excellence out of me. So like lesson A, I get my ass beat type of thing. And
Yeah.
so and which was interesting because I come like I said, my mom graduated 10th grade, my dad graduated ninth grade. Neither one of them finished high school. My brother dropped out of high school. And so I was the one. And I had like 3 degrees because of it. I was always trying to prove to them that I was good enough. And I took that all the way until 35, 36, 30, 34, 35. I was always trying to prove to women that I was good enough.
Hmm.
And I was always trying to prove to bosses that I was good enough. And if you told me I couldn't, I would fucking make it 1,000 times bigger and show you I could. And I was that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
But so in about 15 years ago, 14 years ago, I got divorced from my ex-wife, the mother of my two kids. And in that time period, I was homeless. So I was homeless for about 9 months, paying for my ex-wife a place to live and my kids. And and I lost my father. He passed away within 2 weeks of that. My best friend got murdered within 3 weeks of that. So I was alone, 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 alone. A lot in my head. I was alone. I had one mentor at the time that was a psychologist that I worked with that we used to teach conferences together. And he was in my corner, but he's like, "This is what you're gonna do. I already know what's gonna happen. Just don't make sure it's not all three of these things." And he's like, "You're gonna get addicted to work, you're gonna get addicted to substances, or you're gonna get addicted to women." Well, I got addicted to all of them. And so I would work all day and then chase women all night and drink in the process. And I just got to a point probably 8 or 9 months into divorce. I was like, I'm too tired to do this anymore. And I had, you can, it sounds good on paper. You have a new woman every day and you have all this free time. And then you're like, I fucking feel empty. And so in my aloneness, I looked in the mirror a lot and realized like who I had been and created the scenarios I come from. And I ended up meeting my wife now. I ended up meeting her probably a year after that. Um, and when I met her, I knew like she was my person. I made a post about this last night. Like to me, she was like the light of 1,000 suns for me. The problem
Yeah.
was I felt like I was in the darkness of 1,000 hells. And I didn't know if I could be the man for her, but I wanted her to be my woman. And so she saw me. She's like, I see you. I see all of you, and I like it, the good and the bad. And it was the first time I've ever experienced like what love is. I love it. To me, love is I see everything about you, the shit and the shine, and I like it all. I want you to work on the shit a little bit, but I'll accept it. And she was the only person in my life that ever done that for me, and it like freed me a lot um, to be a man, to work on myself, to be vulnerable, to be weak, to fucking scrape my knees a little bit. I didn't have to get it all right all the time. And so she just kept calling me higher and calling me higher and calling me higher. And because she's a coach too, she started coaching probably a year after we started dating. And so um, she had a head start on me. And interesting thing is she was coaching women and all of her women clients' husbands started reaching out to me for advice. How do I deal with this? What am I supposed to do? What do I do with my hands type thing? And and so I was started giving out free advice a lot and helping people in the inbox. My wife's like, that's not going to work. Like, how many people have you taken advice from and done something with? I was like, none. She's like, exactly. They just want to feel good right now. It's not going to make a permanent transition for their life. So you're either going to go all in on this or you're going to have to stop giving advice in the inbox. And so I went all in because I love seeing people move. That's why I taught for 12 years. I just love seeing people grow to different levels of themselves. And so that's what I started to do. And uh, I started my brand probably 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since, probably 6 years ago now. But COVID was a big eye opener for me because the amount of men that needed help was astronomical because it's the first time they've been alone with their wife for an extended period of time. They had been
Yeah,
hiding behind work for so long. And so I think it opened a lot of relationships up to like, hey, we got some shit to work on.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Um,
that's the origin.
bro, just to back up because I want to qualify for a sec. When you say homeless, I know a little bit about your story. You were in your car,
I was
correct?
in my car. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I taught at a high school and I lived in the parking lot. I
Yeah.
took showers at the gym and And I ate at the lunch line every day.
Yeah.
They
So,
fed me for free, so it was fun.
and the reason I wanted to qualify is because there are some men out there that feel like that they, you know, they're listening to you talk and they're like, this guy doesn't understand what it means to be low or be at rock bottom. And I just want to bust that bubble and let them know you know exactly what
Oh
the hell that's
fuck.
like. You got the been there, done that t-shirt.
A lot of times. A lot of times. It's I've lost a lot. Like when I say I lost a lot, everybody that I've loved in my lifetime is dead,
Oof.
besides my wife. And so that 9 month period, I lost my father. I lost my best friend, like my best friend in the world that I could call and talk to and I hung out with all the time. He was gone. He got murdered. And then I lost seeing my kids for 9 months because I didn't have a house for them to stay in. And like I lost a lot, but I also realized like I had to be stripped to the bone to fucking understand like everything that I had covered myself up with was a was just a shield from actually liking myself and being lovable. I had put all these shields up to protect myself from people. And I was a prototypical nice guy, honestly. But I have a belief like now after going through all of it and seeing other men go through all of it, like I wanted women to love me because I didn't love myself. Yes, obviously, but I did it in such a way that they couldn't get close to me. Because I was being, and I talked about this in my men's community last night. I had this quote that I wrote down several years ago, probably around that time, and it said like, if you know yourself, you always have a home to come home. You always have a home to go to. If you
Right.
know yourself, I didn't know myself. I literally was something for everybody. And so when I looked in the mirror at nighttime, I didn't know who the fuck that guy was.
Yeah.
And so I got to a point where I just wanted to look in the mirror every night and like I wanted to trust that I was being me. That was that was my number one objective. That was it. Like that's all I really wanted to do. Like I wanted to like the guy I saw. Not like I didn't like it, not his body, but I want to like his fucking soul. Like I want to be able to buy him a beer. I want to be able to shake his hand. I want to be able to like, I got your fucking back. And I couldn't do that before. And so it just got to that point where I realized like in order for me to really be happy in this lifetime, I had to be happy with the person I was alone with, and that was me.
That's a profound statement. It's really huge because there are a lot of guys that have done, and I did the same exact thing. We're built to focus on external validation. You know, we're taught that that's normal, but then you got into a place where you realized the guy, the guy looking back at me is a stranger because I basically become what people want me to be. I've got to be a chameleon and a contortionist to get by in the world.
Yes.
Which when you sell yourself out like that as a man, dude, it like you said, you can't even really feel like who do I know myself and am I at peace in my own skin? You know,
Hmm.
being comfortable in your own skin is a hard thing to do when you've been that guy.
Yeah, I never felt at home. Like I was always stirring, like I needed to get somewhere all the time. Like my wife called it, you were a mountaintop chaser. Because I would like get to the top of a mountain. And now this served me a lot because I was fucking successful everywhere I went. Everything I did, I was good at. I was great at. Problem was, is when I got great at it, I would destroy it because I needed to climb again. And I would get there, destroy it, and climb again, destroy it, and climb again. And she's like, "Why do you do this?" And I would explain, like, I like the thrill of the climb. She goes, "No, that's not it. You don't think you're good enough to stay at the top." And I was like, "Well, fuck you." And she goes, there's a way like you can be at the top and add layers to the top. I was like, how do you do that? She goes, just be happy where you are. But she's like, but you got to be happy with the person that's there. And so I worked on that a ton just because I I wanted to feel at home with my wife.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wanted to feel at home with myself. I wanted to feel at home with my kids. I just wanted to feel at home. And I was in this mindset because of the way I was. raised that I had to get somewhere to be home. And then when I peel back all the layers, like the only place you're ever home is with yourself.
Yeah.
Like wherever you are, you can be home there if you like the person you're with.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. I think it's common, man, and you bring up a really good point that men are taught to become human doings, and we're
Yes.
chasing outcomes, we're chasing results. Not that creating results is wrong, because I love creating results, but when I'm creating it from the wrong place, it becomes a hamster wheel that I can't get off of. I can't,
Yes.
and you just keep, like you said, you would build it, burn it down, and on to the next thing, build it, burn it down, on to the next thing. And that's exhausting too. That
Well,
takes so
yeah.
much energy, bro, to stay on
It's
that course.
it's thrilling and exhausting all at the same time. Really, like I built, my wife would, because I would go when I taught. So I taught at one, two, three, four, five high schools in my 12, 13 years. And um, when I started to get really good at teaching, I would get really good and be like, all right, I want to go to a new school and get really good there. And I would go to a new school and get really good there.
Yeah.
And I was like, my wife goes, you can build up a career if you stay in one place. Like you can advance. I was like, yeah, what's the fun in that? And I did the same thing in sales. I started sales. First year, I was top salesman for a Fortune 500 company.
Hmm.
And within a year after that, I left because I wanted a new challenge. And I'm like, my wife's like, you could be probably like the president of the company now, but you just
Right.
leave. I'm like, yeah, that's no fun.
It's
I had
funny.
convinced I had convinced myself that the climb was where that was the person I was. I was just a good climber.
Ah, yeah. Talk to that a little bit more, bro. Because I mean, what you're hitting on, what I'm hearing anyway, is we kind of build an identity around certain things, and we think that that's who we are.
Yeah.
And as you dug into that, what was your process? I mean, I don't want to put words to it because I'm really curious. Like as you started to see it, and as she was calling you forward, how did you get your arms around it? How did you start to adjust and course correct to get into the place where you are now?
So as I started to see it, because she would just point it out, like she would just say, "Why? What are we doing?" That's all she would ask. What are we doing? And I explained. She goes, "Okay." And then after a couple times, she goes, "Why are we doing this?"
Mm.
Not it went from what to why. And she goes, "Is there a better way?" That was the next question. Is there a better way? And I'm like, I don't know. I never thought of one. She goes, well, you probably need to think of something because this whole achieving and then destroying the achievement is not like making you better
Yeah.
because you're like getting what place and you destroy it. Like
Hmm.
it's gone off the map again. And then you got to work to achieve. And what I realized, like I was working for the approval of her.
Mm.
And so, and it really got to me. What really got to me is that first year of corporate sales, my manager, my boss, I'm still friends with her today. She's like, I said, "What's the record for sales in this territory?" She goes, "It's like 105 deals for the year." She goes, "Nobody's ever gotten close to it. I was the one that did it." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna beat it." And she's like, all right, whatever. So I told my wife this. I was like, hey, I'm going to beat this record. And we're going to go to President's Club and da da da. She goes, okay, whatever. Cool. Sounds good. Well, the first weekend, I sell two deals. I was like, hey, babe, I sold two fucking deals. Can you fucking believe it? She's like, cool. I was like, cool. She goes, cool. Next week, I sold five deals. She's like, and I was like, hey, babe, I fucking sold five deals. Can you fucking believe it? She goes, awesome. Like straight face, awesome. And I was like, so the next week I sold, I think like three deals. So I had sold like pushing 10 deals in a month, which is out of the ordinary. And she's like, and I was like, hey, I think I might get like salesman of the month, like top rep of the month. She goes, why do you keep coming to me? What do you need from me? I was like, what do you mean? She goes, it's like you need my approval to be great. And I was like, uh, I thought she'd be excited. She goes, no, that's not it. I am excited. I just don't want to show it to you because you need my approval to be great. And I was like, well, fuck you. And so literally what I started doing, which is the dorkiest thing on the planet, I think I was listening to a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk at the time. He's like, he always said, like, you gotta approve of your motherfucking self. Like, if you don't approve of yourself, nobody else will approve of you. And I had never approved of myself in my whole life. I never taught myself up. I was humble, I was modest. I just thought like my my results were the approval from others. And and so what I started to do every time I sold a deal, I would pat myself on the back. And so we would have to be in an office in a big pit where we would sell on Fridays. And I
Yes.
remember being in there one Friday, I sold like 7 deals, and I'm just walking around like, let's fucking go. And everybody's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just validating myself. And they were like, weirdo. I'm like, it feels good though. It feels
Yeah.
good. And I stopped asking my wife for anything after that. Stopped. And guess what she did? She fucking started giving me everything. She's like, "Oh my God, you're so fucking amazing. I can't believe you. Holy crap, we need to have a celebration." Da 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 da. I'm like, "Who are you? What is going on? You could have done this several months ago. I'd have been way happier, but it didn't work that way." So, um, I started to realize like my neediness of her created a void in our relationship because it pushed her further away from me. And
Mm,
I had to become unattached to the outcome she would give me
yeah.
so I could be attached to the man I was being moving toward the goal.
Okay. Okay. Full stop. Can you say that one more time? Because that's
Hmm.
what you're saying is a really, really, really important truth for every man to get to that
Yes.
place, to get to that place. So please say that again, bro.
So there's the whole spiritual concept of attachment, not like anxious attachment
Right.
or avoidant attachment or whatever. There's a spiritual attachment. There's a guy named Anthony DeMello that writes a ton about it, but it's basically when you put anything outside of yourself that controls the feelings within you, you're attached to it. And
Mhm.
so if that thing gets removed, it's going to destroy you.
Yeah.
And so when I realized like that's how I operated, like everything outside of me drove me. I felt out of control all the time. My
For sure.
emotions were out of control. My energy was out of control. My work ethic was out of control. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to be in control of the man I took to places. And so I had to become unattached to the outcome of everything. That was the big thing. And especially the outcome of how my wife reacted to me, because that drove me crazy. Like, hey, I had to become unattached to her emotional state or her lack of emotion or her lack of approval to still move toward the outcome because that didn't there's no outward circumstance that keeps you from winning. The only thing that keeps you from winning is you and
Yes.
your attachment to outward circumstances. So if you remove the outward circumstance as a reason why you can't be the thing, you become the thing. And when you become the thing, guess what? The outward circumstances line up in your favor. If it's women, if it's jobs, if it's opportunities, it doesn't matter. It's are you in control of the man you're taking to the place? Because if you're not, then the places you go will be in control of you.
Absolutely. And what you're touching into is what I consider to be practical sovereignty, man. It's like
Hmm.
we have to know, like, and love ourselves. We have to know who
Yes.
we are, we have to like who we are, and we have to love ourselves, warts and all, the parts of us that are, get pissy when we're hungry and tired, and the parts of us that get it wrong with the kids, the parts of us that make mistakes. But being able to be that guy regardless of the feedback from the environment, regardless of the woman that's closest to us or our partner that's closest to us, whether it's a he or a she, but that person giving us feedback and hanging on every word and living and dying by whatever they reflect back to us, we are not in control, and we're not free. There's a
No.
whole dynamic going on, and we're we're saying to someone we love, we're like tying them in knots, and we're trying to say, no, 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 you have to respond to me this way. because I need this from you. And so what's beautiful is through questioning, she was able to turn you back to yourself, and you began to ask yourself those questions and move through that whole thing and
Yes.
unravel it for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, and what's cool now, like as we've evolved, because we're constantly evolving, like I can do that for her. Like that's what she wanted. She goes, I wanted a partner that I could trust that could call me forward as much as I call my partners forward. And I was like, oh fuck. I was like, what does that look like? I'm so used to being called forward by everybody. Like I don't know how to call anybody forward. So I started practicing that, and it's interesting. Like, I've got in the beginning you do it like you're like a man, like I'm talking to a man, and that's not the way to do it. And so I had to soften the edges a little bit and be a little bit more empathetic and understanding of the emotional states and all that kind of stuff. And but the cool thing, like you said, this is just practical sovereignty. Like you can only control one thing in this whole life, period.
Hmm.
You can get into the red pill community, you can get into the alpha males, the sigma males, and all these whatever, all the different versions of whatever you want to call masculinity. They're all about control of other things. That the most perfect, healthy version of the masculine is in control of one thing, himself,
Yeah.
and that's it. And everything else is how do I free everybody else with my control of myself. Like that's my goal is like, how do I use my love to free my wife? How do I use my love to free my children? How do I use my love to
Yeah.
free my clients? And that's when you become free. You use your own freedom to free other people.
Absolutely. Bro,
Yeah.
I'm convinced if we learn, and there's a lot of controversy, and you get people that talk shit about self-care, or they're like, you loving yourself is selfish. And I'm like, let me explain something to you. If you don't like and love yourself, you have nothing to give to anyone else. You can't even, the relationship I have with me, the degree to which I can show myself compassion, that's the man I bring into the conversation with everyone around me,
Mhm.
friends, family, children, coworkers, bosses, or employees. And there's nothing different. And one of the things, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she used this phrase, and when she said it, I said, holy shit, dude, I've got to keep that in front of me. She said, I'm finally at a point where I love myself enough that there is never a wardrobe change, no matter where I am or who is in the room. And I said,
I
that
like it.
that is
I
money.
like that. I
Because
like that.
when also former mommy's boy, former nice guy, bro, there was a wardrobe change every time I thought there was an opportunity to ingratiate myself to somebody or get a little attention, and maybe I was
Yep.
trying to get sympathy or support, or I wanted somebody to be like, "Wow, dude, you're a badass," whatever I was fishing for, right? Because I
Yes.
couldn't give it to myself, and I've outsourced all this power to everybody else. And the crazy thing is, I know powerful men, accomplished men that are miserable men because the way they're wired, it isn't that they can't get shit done. It's that if they aren't getting shit done, they can't see themselves in a positive light. They're not connected to a sense of their own beingness to where they can be at a standstill or just a fishing rod in
Yes.
hand with a kid next to them, or just sitting on the back of the pickup truck with the bed down looking at the stars and be content in that space because they feel compelled to go knock it down, and they can't serve the person that's with them because they're never present. They're always somewhere facing or chasing the summit, bro. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. I lived it. I know like another thing you can keep in front of you, you have to be selfish in the way you love yourself so you can be selfless in the way you love the world.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because that's a cool thing because if your cup's full, you can pour into other cups. But if you're not pouring into your cup, the world's going to suck you dry every
Yeah.
day. And that's what I did for years and years and years. But I agreed that at that point, like a lot of men, especially high achieving men, they're so connected to their doingness that
Hmm.
they forget there's a being driving the ship. And they can't be present with that guy. They can't be present with that person. They can't be present with their family. They can't be present with their wife. They can't be present. Their only presence is in their doingness. Like, and so how do you get a man to understand that there are different buckets of who you are?
Yeah.
And one bucket, if one bucket gets all the attention, the rest of the buckets go empty. What's going to happen to who you are? Because if you build $1 million empire and your wife wants to leave you, you don't have $1 million empire anymore. If you have built $1 million empire and your kids don't have anything to do with you, what the fuck is it worth?
Yeah.
Right? It's you can have all the things materialistically, but if you're not really in tune with who you are and why you're being the person you're being, then all that shit's for naught.
Yes, absolutely. I before I got into men's work, it's a true story, bro. I was crashing on the floor of my buddy's house listening to David D'Angelo's Double Your Dating. And
Yes.
because I was trying to understand this idea of what it meant to be a man. And my buddy said, look, just listen to this because he talks about what it takes to be a man that naturally attracts women, but he was talking about deep inner game. And I'm like, what in the hell is this deep inner game? So he's bringing up Robert Bly and he brings up Shadow but then he said something really, really powerful. And he said, the men in the world that have actually felt like they've gotten it done are chasing durable fulfillment. It's not just materialism. It's not just accomplishment. It's not just titles. It's not just a zip code. It isn't a McMansion. It's not having the yacht. It's not having two houses. The thing that separates these guys out is they're chasing durable fulfillment. And bro, that is exactly what you're speaking to is a
Yeah.
well-rounded life that you like to show up for every day.
Who is the author of, is it Robert Glover, the author of No More Mr. Nice Guy?
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
Glover.
heard him explain the guy he wanted to build, the guy he's become, the guy he helps men be. He said three things. He's like, I want a man who knows where he's going.
Hmm.
I want a man who likes the person he's going there with. And I want a man that has fun on the way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, fuck, like that makes life simple.
Yeah, it
Like if
does.
you can like yourself, you know where you're going, you like the guy you're taking there, you will have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fun is
I, that's a
how
missing thing for guys.
say more about that because I actually I had to make a goal in 2025 to play because I realized when my kids got older, I lost the ability to play. And when I became an entrepreneur, I felt like I had this drivenness of like I got to go slay dragons and knock shit down and prove that I belong here because this is a club that I am determined to get into. But along the way, man, I failed to enjoy myself and I found myself being really sort of like pushing so hard that there wasn't a lot to laugh about anymore. And that's
Yeah.
that's a shit way to live day in and
Yeah.
day.
100%. And I think play is huge. It's a very um often it's used as a feminine energy word. I think that's why a lot of men deter themselves from it because they see a lot of women in play and they don't associate that with who they are as men because we're serious and we're like, oh yeah, we got to do A, B, and C and one, two, and three.
Yeah.
And the women are over there, oh, we just get to go over here and get our nails done and do all these things, right? And we're like, what the fuck? What do we do? And they're like, oh, we're just gonna drink beer. Well, that's not play. That's sedating. That's
Yeah.
numbing your playfulness. So I agree with that. I am Mr. Serious. My wife's told me that. She's like, and I think you have to understand what your play is. They're
Yeah.
different levels. And my play is family. Like I love my family a lot. Like I love my family.
Yeah.
And so like my wife's like, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" I was like, "I just want to spend time with like I you want to have a party? You want to invite all your friends?" Nope, don't care. I want to hang out with kids. I want to hang out with you. I want to hang out with my in-laws. I want to hang out with my brothers. I want to hang out with them. Those are my fun. That's my play. So we try to incorporate that in as much as possible with my kids. I'm actually right now, a fun thing for me is my son took up weightlifting this past year at school. So he's an eighth grader. He's going into high school.
Nice.
And so his confidence went up exponentially, but I didn't want that to fade. So I made a commitment to him this summer that I would train him all summer. So every day this week he's been out. We've been in the gym together. It's just so much fun to like, that's one of my passions. I love to go work out. I love to sweat. I love to do
Yeah.
hard shit. It's fun for me. And he gets in there and gets after it too. And it's like, so you got to find the things that set you up. Like for me, making content is fun. I love that. My
Yeah.
wife, it's a fucking problem. She hates it. Like she hates making content. I love it. So like you find your fun, whatever it is. Can you actually what was I read a book one time and it said like what is the use of a field of 1,000 flowers if you can't stop and smell one?
Yeah,
And so like I've created all of these things for my family, for myself. Why can't I enjoy them? Why can't I
absolutely.
experience them? And and so now like I take time all the time to just sit with my wife, sit with my kids, let loose. Like I cut off my shit and like let's just have fun. Let's just do something to get out of the house. Like this weekend we're going to a Braves game. We're gonna go get to watch the Atlanta Braves and have a good time and just get out of the house and enjoy ourselves.
I love that. I'll
Yeah.
I'll I'll share really briefly, but for me, what I discovered, I was out with a buddy of mine, and part of the crew that was there were they dance, they swing dance, and they Lindy dance, and they blues dance, and I
Oh,
watched
cool.
this guy, bro. I watched this guy walk up to this woman, take her by the hand, and lead her onto the dance floor and dance. And I sat back and I went, first of all, he is having a ball. So is she.
Yes.
That's my fun. Not to mention, that is a flipping superpower, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Watching a guy lead and realizing now, I will tell you, it has been incredibly humbling for me to have to go and learn how to formally dance. But the thing that this is this true story, the thing that brought me to it is I was breakdancing in high school when I was first in martial arts, and
Oh, cool.
all of the fun that I had was being able to show off and do certain moves at a dance. And I thought
Yeah.
that was a great time. And it wasn't just because I was being an attention whore. I was having a great time. I was like, I'm sure I was. I remember 16-year-old me. I remember
Yeah.
very well. But the fact of being able to move and have that freedom and that and just let go, because
Yes.
becoming a serious entrepreneur committed to results, it let go of, well, dude, when does your kid ever get to come online and just be goofy or just play, or when do you lighten up? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And dude, lightening up, my ex, God bless her, she would say to me, she would crack a joke, and I would just be in the zone. She's like, "Hey, can you come here for a second? You completely missed the moment at the dinner table. They're all laughing, and I'm bitching or complaining, or
Yes.
I'm still in work mode. I I lost the gear. Like I just forgot how to goof off and play and let go. And dude, it's a stressful and one-dimensional place to be as a guy when you
It
can't
is.
have fun.
But that's just over leverage of work. Like you're doing this is more important than your beingness at that point. And like I do different things all throughout the day. Me and my wife, we both work from home, so we work in different areas because if not, I'll be distracted all day. So I'll go down there and kiss her and I cook food at my house. I'm the cook because I love food. I love to cook. And
Nice.
so every night I'll have my headphones in, jamming out and cooking dinner and then I can serve my family. Like that's so much fun for me. Like them enjoying the meal that I created for them. Like
Yeah.
it just and my wife just sits there, she does her thing and I'm doing my thing and she'll try to talk to me while I have my headphones in and we always laugh at that because I'm like, huh? So, but I think it's you have to you can't take yourself so fucking serious. Like
Yeah.
like we're all dying, like we're all gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
we got one opportunity. This is no dress rehearsal. Like motherfucker, you are dying as you speak right now. So you better fucking enjoy it. Like you better live this motherfucker out. Live full, die empty. That's what I always say. Live full
Yes.
and die empty.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. There's the idea of committing to live all in means that there are, I mean, I don't know that anybody goes to their deathbed with no regrets, but brother, I don't want to show up on my deathbed with a stack of regrets. And if I can work, you know what I
No,
mean, to cut that down a little bit day by day, year by year,
no.
that
I've
way
got
it's
I'm,
a lighter process at the end here?
I've got inspired by this guy that he's at my gym. He's 84 right now. I met him 2 years ago. We become close friends. We talk, we pray together. We sit in a sauna every day together. He's an 84-year-old man. He goes in there 7 days a week, 2 hours a day.
Wow.
But every day I talk to him, I'm like, how you doing today? He goes, man, I have no choice but to be great today because tomorrow may not come. I'm on God's time right now. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then, but he's always open to try shit. Like he just started doing yoga every day. Like he was doing his workout and then the sauna. Now he does his sauna. He does his workout, sauna, and yoga.
Wow.
And he's like, I just want to try something new. They said it'd be fun for me. So I went in there and he goes in there every day and tries something new. If something pops up, he's like, yeah, I'll try that too. Hey, yeah, I'll try that too. Why not? Let's just go try it and see what happens. He goes, I don't have long to live. I might as well live. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, man. And
He's,
and that growth mindset, bro. Like
yeah,
just staying open to things, being
yeah.
willing to try something, you know?
Like that childlike learner.
Yeah.
Be willing to fuck it up and be okay with that.
Yes, yes, yes. And part of the problem is when we don't like ourselves, when we don't love ourselves, it's really hard to give ourselves grace to try new things. It's really
It
hard
is.
to give ourselves grace when we fuck it up to find an easy way back to ourselves.
Yes, because we're so beholden to the perfectionist. Like we got to get it all right for us to be all good with everybody. Instead of
Exactly.
like there's no I own this about myself. I'm a professional fuck up. I'm great at it. Everything I do every day I'm going to fuck something up. Even and I tell my wife like when I'm practicing new stuff like I'm working through for myself I was like, hey, I'm going to practice this with you. I'm going to fuck it up, but I'm going to get it right at some point. Just understand I'm trying here. And
Yes,
she is cool. That sounds good. Like that knee thing. Like we were talking about. I talked in the men's group the other
oh
day
yeah.
about
Yeah, the
how me and my wife,
communication
yeah,
technique.
how me and my
Yeah.
wife conversate. How I really got the ability to sit with her in her emotional state. I don't know where I got it from. I just thought it was probably the most uncomfortable thing to do, and so why not do that? So he sits on the couch and I sit on my coffee table and I put my knees against her knees and I put my hands on her lap. She puts her hands in my hands and she just starts spitting her fire into me. Like in the beginning, I couldn't fucking handle it. I would spit back, but I just got comfortable and more comfortable and more comfortable and more comfortable
Right.
sitting there with her. And I told her when I started, it's like, I want to try something. I just thought about it. I don't know. I didn't get it from anywhere. I was like, I'm going to create this. I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to try, but I'm going to fuck this up. She goes, what do you say that? I said, I'm just going to fuck this up because I haven't trained my body to do this yet. And so I did it. And I'd say the first 2 or 3 times I fucked up a lot because the same person came out and it
Hmm.
just got better gradually because I was willing to do it every time and learn to still myself and other people's chaos
Yeah.
instead of getting chaotic with them.
Hmm.
And just started practicing. And that's why I say I'm a professional fuck up. I'm willing to fuck up a lot because I know every time I fuck up, I learn something. Every time I
Yes.
fuck up, I'm getting better, especially in relationships. Like, you're never going to get it all right. I'm good as hell now. I still fuck up. I'm good as hell. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I think that self-acceptance is so critical, man. And not like just giving lip service to it, being able to, when you really want to beat the hell out of yourself or you're really frustrated or disappointed, to just kind of be like, no, it's okay, because the way forward is to love me enough to keep practicing and
Yes.
recognize I'm still going to fall down and I'm still going to get it wrong. Bro, I said to a guy, he was beating the shit out of himself and he was a newlywed and he said, I don't know what to do with her. I don't know what to say with her. And he's just hammering his shit out of himself. I was like, dude, if you were a toddler trying to figure out how to walk around the room, if that was your kid, would you scream at him for not being able to walk?
Yes.
No, of course not, man. The baby has to learn to walk. I said, give the baby in you a break, dude. It's not,
Yes.
you're like not even a year in, and you think that you're supposed to have the roadmap to your woman, and she changes, bro. She's ephemeral. She might be upset in the morning and happy as hell midday, and then at night, deep in thought about something else. I said, you've got to learn to surf. And you're a shitty surfer, but at least you've identified that, but you got to give yourself more room, man. And I think
I,
that as guys, we're not great at that with ourselves.
well, I think a lot of relational dynamics fuck up on one principle. It's when the marriage starts, the learning quits. Like that's like literally. And so me and my wife, we have a principle that we live by. We don't try to know each other, we try to learn each other. Because knowing is a past tense. Like I know that person.
Yes.
Learning is who are you becoming? And that's why 7 year itch is a real thing in relationships. It's because every 7 years, your body reproduces itself at a cellular level, period. So you're a completely new person inside and out. And you are spiritually a new person, mentally a new person. You got new goals, new desires, new wants, new beliefs, new things. But if you are knowing who they were, you haven't learned where they're going. And so people, you always hear this. I don't know if you hear it. I hear this all the time. Like, I wish she would just be like she used to be. Like when
Oh,
we first met, she was so fucking cool. What fuck happened? You stopped trying to learn her. That's what happened. You stopped dating her. You stopped paying attention to her. You stopped learning what she was doing, what she was all about. You didn't get concerned with that. And so now you know a version of her that doesn't exist anymore. And so it's the same way with yourself. Like men get so comfortable knowing themselves. Like I just want to know me. Well, you know who you have been.
yeah.
I want you to learn who you're going to become. Like learn that guy. Who are you right now? Who are you becoming? And that takes an everyday process.
Yeah.
It's the same. Me and my wife, we have a talk every day. It's sometimes we record them because sometimes it's like, this is the most profound shit I've ever heard. Like I'm just asking normal questions that I might ask 10 years ago. There's a 180 answer. I'm like, oh fuck, like I learned something new today. This makes me happy. She's like, how are you still learning stuff? I was like, I didn't know this shit. You're a new person. I don't know. Like I'm always, and we are apart from each other because there are times when I'm traveling or she's traveling. We play something called the question game, where we have these four categories. It's like relationships, business, sex, or miscellaneous. And
Hmm.
you have to pick a category, and then you have to ask a question. She answers, I answer, and then she'll ask me a question. And it's like questions that we may have asked before or questions we've never asked, but we're trying to understand where we are in the dynamics of our own kind of relating.
That's beautiful.
And it allows us to see each other now instead of see who we were.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's a big thing. I think that fucks up a lot of relationships is like they stop learning their person after they get married to them. They get comfortable.
They get comfortable and lose the spirit of discovery. They're not really exploring anymore. And
No.
they're not curious. The one thing, and I've heard this so many times, and since it was top of mind, I thought I'd drop it in. Bro, I think the biggest thing is as a guy, and I've made this mistake, I already know what you've said, so I know what you're gonna say, and I don't even need to be present or curious because I've already got it wired. And then I wonder why she's pissed off.
Yeah. You're trying to predict the conversation without actually going through the process.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's insulting.
That's insulting as fuck because if somebody did it to you, you'd be pissed the fuck off.
Oh
You
my
don't know what
God.
I'm going
Yeah.
to say? Yeah,
Yeah. What the fuck? Who the fuck do you think you are? Get out of my head. Let
exactly.
me speak for myself, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And too, and a lot of guys do this. I know I was a world's worst at it. I would listen to respond to the things about me.
Yes. Yes.
Like I would listen to respond instead of listen to hear, I would listen to respond. And I'm like, this is not going anywhere fast.
No. When you're waiting for the opening so you can interject, and
Squeeze
it's
in
like,
here. I
yeah,
don't want make a
and it,
chasm right here. Fuck
yeah,
it up.
it's brutal. It's
Yeah, it
brutal.
is 100%.
One thing, because I know we're kind of getting towards the end of the conversation, bro. You dropped a bit of wisdom around the 3x5, and you were talking about a practice, and I just wanted you to share that with the guys because that
Yeah.
I took copious notes, mental and other, as I was listening to you. But I would love if you could share that really quickly because I think that that's a really powerful. It's a powerful thing that men may underestimate how that can impact them and how that can actually catalyze change. I mean, real change, not bullshit, not just, I'm mind fucking myself into believing something. I'm actually changing the way I see me in my relationship to myself.
Yeah, 100%. So 3x5s is something I started probably 8 or 9 years ago. I still do them to this day. Now I do them verbally. I used to write them all down and read them in the
Mhm.
mirror and look at myself while I read them. That was a big thing for me because I wanted to speak love into myself because I didn't have it. And so like the first three by five is there's three statements and you have to write five statements about each statement. So the first one is uh, list five things that you love about yourself today. And that one's hard because a lot of men are like, I don't even know what that means to love myself. They're like, what does that even mean? What does that look like? Da 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 da. Da. I'm like, just think about five things you love about you today, like something you did that you loved, like literally. Um, I'll think about last day. I love that I got to take my son to the gym today and be a mentor to him. It was a fun thing. I love that we had four men come up to us and said, I wish my dad would have done this for me when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
And that melted my heart. Like that made me feel some kind of way.
Hmm.
Cause yeah. So that's one. Number two is what are five things that you are proud of yourself for today? Like proud that you showed up for. I love and proud, loving yourself and being proud of yourself are two different things. So love is you love this version of you. Proud is I validate myself for being this way.
Yeah.
And then the third one is what are five things you could forgive yourself for today? And that's a hard one because I mean, I got stuck on three or four for like 2 weeks, just crying my eyeballs out at it.
Hmm.
But I think the greatest form of love is forgiveness, and the hardest person to forgive is yourself. But if you forgive yourself, you free yourself
Yeah.
to love more. And so I've worked on that a ton. Now, one that me and my wife do at the end, we do every night now is we do what are five wins that we have for today? Like, what did we win today?
Yeah.
Like, whatever it was, like, hey, I ate on plan today. I had this many discovery calls set a day, whatever it may be. It was like five wins, whatever we decide a win is. And it just allows us to connect tonight. We do five gratitudes for ourselves every night, like what we're grateful for today. We do that with our kids. We do that too, so they can sit around and talk about what they're grateful for, which is good. And it allows us to just truly like anchor in who we are and the life that we have. It might not be all rainbows and butterflies all the time, but there's a lot of shit to be grateful for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, bro,
But I would say if you do that practice, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, go.
I would start off writing it out, but I would also look in the mirror, like fuck you, look yourself in the eye socket, get by yourself, cry, like literally cry, like get that shit out of your body. It's poison. It needs to come out. That emotion is killing you on the inside because you're not expressing it, and
Yes.
you're not processing it. So allow it to go through you. Allow it to get out of you. If you fucking want to laugh, laugh. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to be happy, be happy. But get it out of you. Like be a man that's got emotion that he can give the world instead of being a man that hides his emotion from the world, and you'll live a happier life.
I love how you say some of the most profound shit, just these drops of wisdom, and I'm so glad we caught some of that today.
Me
Brother,
too.
thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
It's an honor to hang. I love hanging, getting time with you, and just letting you speak across your experience and the things that we all need to be reminded of that we easily can forget that we've got to put into practice. We've got to live it.
Absolutely.
We've got to live it because the freedom is lived into and practiced, and we fuck it up, but we have to keep coming back to it. So
Yes,
appreciate
100%,
you.
brother. Yeah,
Thank
man. I
you.
appreciate you. Thank
Yeah,
you, brother.
absolutely.